Hey guys, it's DaddyDeEviL and today I'm doing a review of Mass Effect Andromeda based on my personal experience after playing the game for more than 100 hours in both single and multiplayer on my stream. So the first thing you need to know about Mass Effect Andromeda is this is the game that is centered about the Galactic Explorer experience. So the whole game evolves around you being a galactic explorer that needs to explore the worlds for the humanity and other races of the Milky Way, which decide to live in another galaxy after some events that have occurred in Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2. The Galactic Explorer vibe caught me after only minutes of playing the game, so I've pretty quickly felt that I am actually exploring something new, that I am first human being setting my foot on some planets and exploring them, and this really, I really enjoy this because this is what I've expected from the game, and it delivered a perfect 10 in my opinion, so I was really happy with that from the start. My decision in the beginning was to play the Mass Effect Andromeda as a completionist, and I did 100% achievement on the game, except for one quest that was actually bugged, which I did complete, but it remained in my journal, and hence my completion level actually stayed at 99%. So anyway, it took me 95 hours to do this in single player, and I've spent like maybe 15 hours in multiplayer on several occasions, and I did enjoy the game quite heavily. It was great. The story of the game was pretty good, but the storytelling of the game was great, as it was in original Mass Effect trilogy. The characters that you meet are well designed. They all have a lot of backstory, especially the companions. There's only 6 companions in this game, I believe. Yeah, 6. And all of them have really well-developed personalities. They have some really good stories. Some would say that some of them are cheesy or they are not new. It's already been seen. Yeah, it's not like it's something revolutionary new, but they are good. They are well designed, and they are true to their beliefs, and I really enjoy them. I really enjoy the parts, because the companions, because they are not only there when you talk to them, they talk a lot during your exploration and journey. They talk around when you drive around the planet. They talk around differently when you have different companions with you, so they will communicate even between themselves, ignoring you and giving some funny comments, maybe jokes, interacting with each other. So it was really pleasurable experience. What I've mentioned was driving around the planet. So one of the highlights of Mass Effect Andromeda for me was the vehicle you use for exploration called Nomad, which was perfectly designed. The actual experience of driving this vehicle around different planets for me was great. I really enjoyed it, and it was really breath of fresh air after the dreadful experience in Mass Effect 1 with the vehicle called Mako, which was one of the worst vehicles I've ever driven in any game I've played, and I played a lot in my years. So the Nomad was greatly designed. It adapts well. You can configure it in different styles to match different terrains, use some stuff like jet boost or turbo, and it really allows you to you can customize its skin and everything. So it was really well designed, and it was a concept that was greatly introduced in Mass Effect 1 and then executed in the worst possible way. Now the concept was recognized, and it was completed in the perfect way for me. So thumbs up for the guy who did it at BioWare. It was a great move, and job well done, dude. So as I was saying, the story was great, and furthermore, the foundation which this story creates are even better. So there is so much that BioWare can do. They can add a lot of sequels to these games, and I will be looking forward to each and every one of them. As I've said, it took me around 95 hours, and that is because I've explored all the planets. I've completed, I believe, more than 200 quests. I did not take count because, well, the UI doesn't allow it. The UI is actually not that good, in my opinion. It's hard to navigate through it. For instance, you have a list of completed quests which are not sorted in any meaningful way. Not in time, not by alphabet, and you really just have to search through it to find some completed quests, and it takes you a lot. There is no grouping of the quests, so I did not like that part of the UI. As I did not like most parts of the UI. It was designed, it was not on a level of a PC game for this century. I mean, it was really below my expectations. It was a poorly designed console UI, and it was not well adapted for PC. It was robust, it was hard to navigate through, and I really did not enjoy the experience of the UI. One of the things that also suffered from the UI was crafting. The crafting interface was bad because of this, and the crafting itself actually wasn't that great in this game. There was a lot of variety of weapons that you can choose, but unfortunately you could not try these weapons, and the stats that you see about these weapons are not truthful. You cannot just understand how will the weapon behave after seeing those stats. The numbers are too high. It's hard to comprehend, and usually when you see some numbers for the weapon and you try it actually in combat, it's a whole other story. So something like a shooting range would be great in this game, I believe, because I had to spend more than 3 hours crafting different weapons and then trying them versus same group of enemies, because I wanted to see which weapons I actually enjoyed, and I did this like after 50 or 60 hours of gameplay already. So when I said I wanted to use it on enemies, it's a good setup for me to mention that I was not that happy with the enemy diversity. I was really happy with the enemies' AI and behavior. They were well designed. Fighting them on hard difficulty did not feel like they were cheating or something, that they are just having unfair advantages. No, they had some good tactics, like trying to flank you, running behind the cover, staying behind the cover, dodging your attacks. So I believe my experience with combat in this game is well. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed Sniper Rifle, which I did not enjoy it in Mass Effect 1. It was my favorite weapon actually was Black Widow Sniper. Other weapons were great also. The big improvement in comparison to the original trilogy is that you can use all weapon types regardless of the actual class that you play. So this is great. It gives players a lot of space to be creative, to create different different play styles and everything. So this was a good improvement in my opinion. Another thing that made combat better, since all Mass Effects are actually cover shooters, the Mass Effect Andromeda brought in a couple of new things like dash, so you can dash in any direction, which would allow you to dodge projectiles and move, do a quick movement or run behind the cover. And you had a jet boost, which allowed you to jump to another level and stay and hover in air and shoot from there. So this was also a great improvement of the combat, and I think it was a great one, and I really did enjoy combat at Mass Effect Andromeda. One other thing I forgot to mention was the graphics of Mass Effect Andromeda kept me in awe all the time, all 95 hours. I really enjoyed the sceneries of planets that you explore. They were really great. Design was really great. It was beautiful. I found myself on numerous occasions just stopping the actual travel or other action I was doing, just because I found a beautiful scenery and I wanted to look around and see how the planet was designed. So this was pure 10 for me. I know that some would say that having a desert planet, ice planet, a rocky planet, and all those, it's something that's deja vu, but I think that they were all pretty well designed and really beautiful, and I really did enjoy exploring each and every one of them. There are also a lot of other planets which you can't visit, but you can explore. And this was a good experience also because it was not grindy. You just go to the system and you scan from there, one quick scan, in comparison to numerous scans which you had to do in Mass Effect 2, which were painful and time consuming. I think that there was no grind element in Mass Effect Andromeda. I did not get the grind feeling at any point, whether it was exploring the space or gathering the materials. It felt really well balanced, and I really did enjoy it. For those that like to take out a bit more from the game, there is a lot of lore. There are many codexes with a plethora of information which you can check about the in-game, about the planets, about the species, about the inhabitants, about events. There is really a lot of codexes which will allow anyone who wants to know more about the Andromeda setup. It will make them understand it even better. My experience with the game was pretty pleasurable. The game is not perfect. It had some minor hiccups in the beginning, but and still probably does, but I did not mind them. I've focused solely on the experience the game provided, and in my experience, in my personal opinion, this experience is top level and it was great. I think this is everything I wanted to share about Mass Effect Andromeda. I could talk for hours about it. I've already tried making this review, and it took more than 45 minutes, so I'm doing this shorter version now. I believe that this game is one of the top 10 games I've ever played, and I've played a lot of games. I would put it in the same basket as Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne and original one, Star Wars, the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic, and I don't know, Civilization 4. So these are the games that also are in my top 10 basket, and Mass Effect Andromeda definitely can stand with his head held high with all those games as its companions. Anyway, I recommend it to anyone who hasn't tried it, and my personal opinion is that this game deserves a rating of 95 on a scale to 100, and if you didn't have a chance, try Mass Effect Andromeda. I believe you will have a great time. I know I did. Thank you for listening to my review. I'm DaddyDeEviL, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.
I got 2 skill points, but I'm grateful for that, but what did I actually do with this?